It is, because it goes back to the idea of what is conflict really about. So, you know, when you start looking at transformative mediation, you're saying, what is conflict? And what is conflict? What is the party's experience of conflict? What is it they need from me to help them to manage this conflict? So we've started off with the power theory. So conflict is a struggle for domination. One person's going to win, in other words. And then you've got the rights theory, which is based on law often. You know, it's a contest for competing rights. One party has a legal right or is right and the other's wrong, and how are you going to discover that? So, and then you've got the problem solving and the needs and interest theory. So the problem is that the parties have got needs and interests that you need to draw out, which are possibly incompatible, and you need to find a way of resolving the problem. So in those, depending on those different theories, the parties need something different. If it's a power theory, they need help organising how are they going to win the battle. It's literally a battlefield strategy. How are they going to win? If it's right theory, they probably need help in advocacy and argument. But if it's needs and interests, which is what we focus on in facilitative, they need help in drawing out those needs and interests and in solving the problem.
Right.
But in transformative mediation, the theory of conflict is that it's a crisis in human interaction.
Okay.
The interaction between two parties that's broken down, and they need help in overcoming that crisis and restoring a constructive interaction. Okay. So when that interaction breaks down, it becomes, the focus of it becomes weakness and self-absorption.
Right.
Like a bubble closing down. I like to look at it. You know, do you know these Zorb balls?
Yes.
When you roll down a hill. I imagine it that someone's got kind of stuck inside a bubble and that they can't see beyond the frame of the bubble. All they can see is their own perspective on things. And they feel very vulnerable if they step outside of that bubble.
Okay, so the different approaches then are, I guess the approach that one would choose would depend on one's belief around the theory of conflict.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Okay. So not to say, you know, it's not to say that one is necessarily wrong. It's just to say that's what I feel comfortable with, having done my own research, thinking this to me, and explored my own attitude to conflict. So one of the things we do in transformative mediation is to explore. It's a bit like going into therapy, I suppose. You explore your own experience of conflict. When I was in conflict, what was my experience? How did I feel? How did I behave? And why did I behave like that? And how comfortable did I feel with my own behaviour? Did it make me feel strong and empowered, or did it actually make me feel weak and vulnerable?
Okay.
And the answer normally is, when I was in conflict, I felt weak and vulnerable. I felt confused. I was operating from a place of fear. I was actually powerless, although I was posturing. I felt very defensive. I was suspicious. I was hostile. But that came from a place of self-absorption, not from a place of recognizing the other person.